Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. You know what? We have a young lady here that has something dealing with a book she wrote about digital sisterhood, about the memoirs of fierce living online. Now, hey, I didn't know anything about this, but hey, this is something. Whatever you're doing, you need to stop and listen, because this is very, very important. Welcome, Amanda. Did I pronounce it right?
It's Ananda.
Ananda. Ananda. Okay, Ananda Leak.
It's good to be here, Mr. Brown. Thank you for having me here.
Ananda Leak. That's the name, right?
Exactly.
And tell us, Ananda. We were talking about good old times of Glen Arden, places like that. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in Flint, Michigan, but raised in PG County. So I am born out of state, but bred in state.
Right.
And so being here on your show is really a homecoming of sorts. And I attended school at Kenmore Junior High and elementary school. So I'm a
you're really
homegirl.
a Prince George's, aren't you?
I am. I went to high school at Elizabeth Seton High School, and I then went to Morgan State University in Baltimore. So I stayed in Maryland for a lot of time.
Fantastic. African American College. That's what I graduated from, Virginia Union.
All right.
And I sent my kids, one went to Hampton and another one went to Bowie State.
Awesome.
I believe in the African American universities.
All right.
That's beautiful, Morgan. It's fantastic. I didn't know that earlier.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit. I was amazed at the title, Digital Sisterhood. Tie that in for us.
Well, Digital Sisterhood is a celebration of women in social media and tech. It is the Digital Sisterhood Network in a larger sense, and that's what I run and have been doing since 2010. And what we do is we promote women in social media and tech through leadership, lifestyle, and living well initiatives online. For example, today is Digital Sisterhood Wednesdays on Twitter. Twitter is that microblogging tool that lots of people use, including the president and the Pope, to name a few. And so on Digital Sisterhood Wednesdays, we tweet other digital sisters. And I use it as a way to connect women and to build community and to promote their great efforts.
Okay, so I mean, how did you come about the title? I just look at the title there and look at that illustration there and the fury. I wonder, how did you come up with an illustration like that?
Well, I worked with another digital sister, Dariella Cruz, out of San Diego, California. I met her at a women's social media conference called Blogalicious, which was held at the National Harbor in 2011. And it's an annual conference that celebrates diversity in the blogosphere or in social media. And so we worked together on creating an image of myself. It's a silhouette of my hair. And
it's a silhouette of your hair. Oh, fun.
All of my locks out and about. And so within each lock, you'll see that there are words that represent aspects of digital sisterhood, like community, conversation, creativity, causes, commerce, campaigns, the various things that women are involved in when they go online. Many of us use Facebook and some of the other tools like Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram to stay in touch with our families, our friends. It helps us when we want to advocate for certain elections, because I know we have some elections coming up in Maryland with Governor Brown to be. So it helps us do advocacy work for issues that we're concerned about as far as education, health. We share information. We also use it to interact with business. Many women have businesses online, so that's another aspect of it. We share health information. It's so good to learn.
Excellent,
Learn about
health information. That's very good.
Yeah, so it's a combination of things. And so Digital Sisterhood, the book, shares 18 narratives about my experiences and how women impacted my coming online, informing me, influencing me, and inspiring me. And my first time online was in 1986, believe it or not.
Wow.
It was when I was a first-year law student at Howard University School of Law, and I did not believe that I needed to use a computer in the 80s. I had a computer science roommate at Morgan, and she told me right before I started my senior year, she said, "You're going to need to know about computers." And I said, "No, I'm not." The first week of law school, I swallowed my words because we had to use a computer.
Right.
And so a girlfriend of mine, a classmate, she took the time to show me how to get online through LexisNexis, which is a data information online service that we use to research case law. Well, you could also read newspapers, and I was an information junkie.
Read newspapers.
Oh.
That was one of the things I liked about it, is that, you know, I'm a newspaper person, like I said earlier. I had two newspapers in Prince George County, a Black Voice and the Prince George's Press. And I used to buy all the news everywhere I go. So they said, people always said, take Ed Brown a newspaper. You know, they go on vacation. I don't care where it is, Europe or wherever. Just bring me. But you can't read French. I said, yes, I know you're Italian or something. I just want the newspaper. But the communication thing is so very important. And this was people, and with the rising of the computer, it really changed a lot of learning and the process. You know, how they used to, in my day, you know, you have to go to the library and look it up. Hey, you can just turn over and hit a button, you know, and say, what do you want to know? And that's the thing that I really love about it. You know, anything, any subject that really, that even if I'm watching TV or someone tells me about something, boom, 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 I can find out. I can get the history in minutes, whereas prior to that time, it wasn't available.
Yeah, you're right. It changed my life, and it's changed the way that we all live. And so that's what the book talks about, is the women that inspired me, informed me, and influenced me. And it starts with a chapter that has you imagine through my eyes what my great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers and aunts and great-aunts and all of the women, I call them my woman line, what would they have done with the internet had they had it? And so I take you through sharing what these women were about. They all had the gift of gab. They all loved to have conversations and share information in various ways in their lives. They were all involved in their communities in some way. They all believed in family and were committed to taking care of their families. And so at the end of each chapter, especially this chapter, in the first book, in the first chapter of the book, you have an opportunity to explore those origins in your own life, because I ask questions, and each chapter gives you questions and things that you can do with a group, with yourself. You can do them as journaling activities, or you can use it to enhance your online life, because it gives examples of how you could use some of the information to...
Gives you information about the procedure for getting online.
Well, yeah, and places that you can go and visit based on the subject matter of each chapter. And there's space for you to take notes too. That's why it's a little thick.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a journaling aspect to every chapter. And in the back of the book, there is a series of resources in the appendices that allow you to learn a little bit more about my journey, but also it gives you information on digital wellness, which is taking care of yourself when you're online, and making sure that even though we love the internet, we need to take breaks from it. I learned that the hard way, and so I give you tips on that as well as resources.
Well, give us some tips on some of the things that you talk about that you felt is important. I know health is one of them that stands out in my mind.
Well, this month, Digital Sisterhood Network is celebrating the theme of using your digital citizenship to give back. And so part of the way that Digital Sisterhood Network gives back is through healthy living initiatives. Currently, we're working with AARP, to promote caregiving, especially women caregivers, and the various things that they need to do in order to take care of themselves as they care for their loved ones. We also have worked with the breast cancer awareness organizations to encourage women and their loved ones to make sure that they are getting their mammograms, that they're taking care of themselves, that they know how to examine themselves by sharing information. Any of the women's health observances like National Women's Health Week, we cross-promote that information. We also are, because I'm a yoga teacher, really big
Yeah.
on making sure,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. Really big on making sure that women and girls use yoga and other alternative health practices to take care of themselves. September is National Yoga Month, so we always provide information on that. From videos to resources that they can use that are free online and they can take advantage of.
I see. Well, how religiously now? I was thinking in terms of contraceptives, you know, for dealing with women, since the Supreme Court,
Oh, yeah.
you know, what do you think of that?
I was raised to be a woman who believes in the right to choose. And so because Digital Sisterhood Network is my baby, I promote choice. What women do with their bodies is their choice. We don't specifically have any campaigns that that promote that, but we definitely do support it. We get behind these types of issues when it's necessary. So yeah, I'm in support of women's right to choose.
Well, what about senior citizens? So often you find what's happening now is that senior citizens, especially the women, you know, women are living longer than men. Therefore, in their years of loneliness, really, how do you approach that?
We haven't had any programs or initiatives that directly approach that, but I can say this. Last week I was at St. Joseph's Catholic Church, my home church that I was raised in, and a large majority of the women that attended a book reading that was sponsored by the women's ministry, I would say that they were maybe like half of the room, if not a little bit more, they were 55 and older, and I would say from 55 to about 75. And the women in the room, we talked about how people use the internet to deepen their spiritual practices because they were able to access music as well as spiritual books, references. So I think your spirituality, at least in my life and from what I gleaned from the conversations I had with the women, the spiritual aspect of a woman's life can help her bring grounding and centering into her emotions. I don't know if that takes away the loneliness, but it definitely helps you navigate it. I'll let you know when I get to that part of my life, but I can't really speak on it.
Yeah, because actually, digital sisterhood, that's a phase, I would say, seniors would, if they could get to the point that they could understand the full operation of the computer. Most seniors, they have problems, and generally the younger people don't have patience. You know, but usually seniors, they want to, you know, just answer the phone. But if you say, hey, what about texting, or what about doing this? Have you thought about maybe having a class for the senior women and the men, really, to make it easier for seniors to actually get into the digital programs?
I have done some workshops where people in the audience have been older, I would say over 60, and that has worked. I don't necessarily think that that's my calling, but if someone asked me to do it, I would consider it, or I would refer them to someone.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in terms of the size of lettering. You know, what they've talked about is since seniors have eyesight problems, is making that. I know you can hit it now and the lettering comes up larger, but some of the problems with that is that seniors have.
Well, one of the things that I have been able to do over several years is work with my own father. My father's 75.
He's a young guy.
He is a young guy, and he's a young guy that had a lot of hesitation to using the internet and the computer. And so since January 20th, 2009, when he decided to join Facebook after President Barack Obama was sworn in on that night, he joined. I and my brothers have helped my dad really come into the digital age. He now has a blog, he uses Facebook, he uses Twitter, he uses Instagram, he uses his phone. He's all over the place.
Well, evidently that shows that you all have patience, because sometimes the seniors, they get involved. They want to do something right away. If they don't want to do it, then they don't deal with it. But that bridge gap between the seniors and the digital, didn't have much of the problem because of the fact I was in sciences. Actually, we had computers and things of that nature. We had it back in the 60s and the 50s in the lab, So being a chemist, research chemist, we had those type of things. So but most seniors don't have that scientific background to make it easier for them to get involved, because it can be used it can be used for protection. It can be used so many ways. I see different things like when a simple thing like fall, that they're able to, if they have the computer, they're able to call for help or whatever. It may seem simple to younger people, but seniors, this is one of the major things that problems they have is falling. It causes more injuries. After you fall. It's not just a fall. And then what happens is that most of the, like you have digital sisterhood, you're talking about the women, but I think you should include the men on that too. They would be involved in that, because this is something that's really needed, and a lot of people don't think about it, but it's very essential, and it's very essential to the seniors, and then also the young people. But what I notice with the digital, the young people, they go for games rather than substance.
Not all. Not all.
A lot of them.
A lot of them do, but
they utilize. That's because of their exposure.
A lot of them do, but I would say, and when we talk about the young people, they call them the digital natives, because they grew up with things that you and I have no idea what it's like.
You don't know what they're doing.
Right. It took me a while to get used to my phone.
They say you don't have to do it that way, Dad. So say here, let me do Twitter. You do Twitter, or you do Facebook, or just like I was at dinner with my wife and her cousin, and he wanted to send a photo of us sitting at the table, So I didn't want to get involved, and I waited till he took his photo. Then I told him to send it to me. I felt it was easier for him to send the photo to me. But now, what about the youngsters? How early do you get involved with them, the young ladies?
I would say this. Right now, the women that I have dealt with have been in college, and specifically Spelman College and Howard University.
Great.
I've spoken at both of the universities, more so at Spelman. Just came back in April from speaking to the young ladies about digital sisterhood and connecting, and also using their digital presence mindfully, so that when they go and they do interviews, that what they're putting online and how they're communicating, it's respectful. And it doesn't cause them trouble when someone does a check.
Give us some ideas of interviews in the digital sense that you're talking about.
Some of the things that I'm talking about are getting into fights with people online, using derogatory language, posting revealing photos of yourself, anything that would cause an employer to think twice about your integrity or your judgment. Even where you go online, the places that you hang out and the people that you're connected to, everybody has access to the internet, and over half of employers, I was reading something the other day, over half of employers are using the internet to do searches on potential employees now. And so you think you've been online all your life, like you're 18, 19, or 20, or 21, you have a digital footprint that many of us don't have. And you may have been sharing things when you were younger that, if you think back, that may not have been a smart thing. I know for myself, if I had the internet, especially in my late teens and my early 20s, I don't know if I would be sitting here comfortable saying I'm okay with what's online about my life, because we all grow and we change. So it's just using the internet responsibly and thinking twice about
How do you control that?
how do you control it?
Yeah.
I have a niece who is 20, and she will be 20. She's 19. And the one thing that I tell Jordan all the time is that your presence on the internet is for your career. That's what it's for. That's what it's for, is to communicate and network and to reach out to people for your career.
But it can be detrimental too,
It can.
because they had right now, one of the things they're talking about is when a policeman arrests someone, they can go on the internet. They can arrest you for running a light, whatever the arrest is. They can go on the internet, and everything you've done for the last 50 years come up on it. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that you need to get a warrant to be able to search someone's phone. I think they have to do that now when they stop and they get to someone, or they come to their homes or wherever they are. If they stop them in the car, I think you have to have a separate warrant now to check someone's phone.
No,
or their
what is your opinion on it?
Well, my opinion is this. You should have the right to have your own privacy. However, if you are brought up on charges and they have reasonable doubt and they have a warrant to arrest you, then everything is fair game. You know, everything is fair game.
You know, a lot of people don't realize how devastating the internet can be. And it's once you put something on the internet, then it's there forever, right?
Yep.
I mean, and when you give information on the internet and you expose those facts, then they're going to get to a point where that everything that you've done from childhood up to adult will be on the internet.
That's why you, as the person who has most access to your information, that's why it's important for you to be responsible and mindful in how you use it. I think that, you know, people say use your power for good. The internet can be good and it can be not so good. And it's your choice in how you choose to use it. And again, you know, we live in a country that promotes freedom of speech and freedom of choice. And I'm all for that. But know that when you are communicating and interacting and conducting business online, even when you pay through PayPal, like I use PayPal regularly, someone can come in and take the information, hack it, you know, and those are some of the risks that you have to be comfortable taking. But on the other side of it, one of the things that I say in the book is that it is an opportunity for you to expand your network. It's an opportunity for you to expand the way that you give back and how you support causes. It's a way for you to explore yourself, to discover yourself, because so many things are available now with the video. So many people have put positive information online that can really help. Not only that, the music that's available, that's online, that's inspiring, You can hear other people's stories. You can read other people's books. I mean, there's so much information that you can get. You can listen to other radio shows. I like to look at the positive aspects
Right,
of it.
right.
And just
But don't you think there has to be a point where you have some control over that?
you have control over what you choose to
Yeah.
see and how you choose to communicate. You do. You don't have to take it all in. You can take breaks. I recommend to clients that they do take time away. Just the fact that if you're staring in front of a screen, whether it's the phone screen, which is very small, we both wear glasses. I've had glasses since I was 4, so my prescription is pretty thick. So I'm careful about like how I read things. I want the print to be bigger now,
Yeah.
so
right.
that I'm not hurting my eyes. They already are taking a hit.
Well, what do you think of that? I've heard my daughter, she's talking about some shields that you buy for long periods of time.
I think if that's what you can use to support yourself while you're online, that's great. I haven't done it myself. I make sure I take breaks, and I'm
Yeah.
very careful about like.
So you're saying that you should take breaks.
I think you should, and also if you're one of the things that I did this year was I purchased a standing desk so that I'm not always sitting, because the longer that you sit, you are not moving your body, and that is not good because
you're flowing.
Oh
blood.
yeah, everything gets
right.
stiff.
Even crossing your leg.
Yeah, you see, I'm
say-
not going to do this all day,
Right.
but I can do it now, just for a while. But being careful about how you're sitting, what you're doing to your body, the pressure that you put on your body from sitting all day or for hours straight. That's why it's good to take breaks.
Right. Well, what kind of advice would you give a young lady about your book and that you've done in your book for them to continue to utilize it or utilize it for positive things?
One of the things that I would say is that spend some time every month checking out new material or new communities. Just pick one. You don't.
But that's a great idea because of the fact that new things come on every day. You know, every hour maybe something new there. You know, and so you really stay on top of it.
Yeah, check one thing out once a month. That's it. You don't have to.
Okay, tell
do
us
10
something
things.
you're going to do in the future. Now you've written this book in 30 seconds.
Well, one thing that I'm doing in the future is I'm looking at what does fierce living mean to me as I approach 50, and that's fierce living offline. What does that mean? And so
As you approach 50.
Yeah, that's in December. So I'm currently looking at that and thinking about publishing an ebook about turning 50 and some of the things that I've learned.
That's very good. Congratulations.
Thank
so,
you.
So you have a future that you are working towards, you know, development in the future.
Yes.
I want to really thank you for being here and interesting. I'm turning digital sisterhood. That's fantastic. That's something I got to read, you know. So I think I want to take a look at that, you know what I mean, and see, because something new is happening all the time, you know. And this is what, and you bringing digital sisterhood. This really looks at the factor that the young ladies, some of the things that you've talked about, is really what all of us need, you know, not just for the men too. So you can think in terms of maybe having number 2, manhood and digital manhood. I think that'll be something very interesting. Okay, this has been Ed Brown, and I wanted to take time out. The first African American county exec, Wayne Curry, passed today, and we just take a moment of silence for Mr. Curry. He did a terrific job for Prince George County. Okay, this has been Ed Brown. See you next time.